Hey, it's Linda E with the Linda E review. As I say, anything I do, I will review. So today I'm coming to you with a film review. Yesterday I watched I Care a Lot on Amazon Prime. Can I just say right now, I think Amazon Prime is my favorite streaming service. I feel as though they are bringing out a lot of new content. They've updated their catalog. I won't lie, up until about 2 weeks ago, Disney Plus was my favorite because of WandaVision. But right now I think like Amazon Prime is just kind of beating them. But let me know in the comments below what your favorite streaming service is, and if you have any recommendations on films or TV shows that I should be watching. So let's get straight into I Care a Lot. This film, can I just say spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, because I'm going to be talking to things. So if you haven't watched it yet, you don't want to know what happens, just stop now. Okay, so I Care a Lot is a film about a shady legal guardian who basically finesses and just cheats old people out of their money, their finances, their homes, everything. Yeah, this woman is evil. So I Care a Lot stars Rosamund Pike, Gone Girl, Diane Wiest, and Peter Dinklage. I'm not gonna lie, their performances are amazing. Like those three, their acting was unreal. So Rosamund plays the role of a woman called Marla Grayson, and she literally is milking the system for all it's worth. What she does is she identifies older people who she deems as vulnerable, and she becomes their legal guardian. So she gets a doctor to sign off to say, yep, these people are no longer able to take care of themselves, and she now becomes their state appointed guardian, which means she has full control of their lives, their finances, their houses, everything. She puts them into an older person's home and she just starts milking them. Like she sells off and auctions all their stuff, doesn't allow them to contact the outside world or their children. It's just so disgusting. Like the doctors are in on it and everything. What happens though is Marla unfortunately goes after a woman who is deemed as a cherry. So the doctor is seeing that this patient is incredibly wealthy but has no family whatsoever, and has basically the early onset of, I believe it's Alzheimer's. It's not to the point where it's very noticeable, but it's just a really early onset. So she can embellish and say that this woman is basically not able to look after herself. So Marla goes after this woman, and the woman's like, sorry, who are you? Like, I don't need no help. I can look after myself. But, you know, Marla's like, look, there's police outside. I'm your state appointed guardian, whatever. Unfortunately for Marla, this woman isn't a nobody. She is the mother of a Russian gangster. And that's where the story gets interesting, because every week or every Thursday, her and her son meet up, and obviously this driver goes to get the mum, and she's not there. He goes back to the Russian gangster, who is played by Peter Dinklage, and Peter's like, rah, I love my mum a lot. Let's go get my mum, kind of thing. So at that point, I'm like, yes, you know, Marla is the bad guy, and Peter Dinklage, even though he's not a good guy because he's a Russian gangster and he's involved in, you know, sex trafficking and stuff, what Marla is doing to his mum and other old people might outweigh the badness of what he's doing, or whatever he's doing is not the focus of the story. The focus of the story is what Marla's doing. Do you know what I mean? I was wrong. Literally halfway through the story, it just goes sideways. And I'm trying to think of the most concise way to describe this to you guys. But basically, Peter goes to kill Marla. He drugs her, kind of beats her up a bit, throws her into a car, and the car goes into like a river, and she survives. At that point, I was like, okay. At the same time, his thugs have gone to beat up her girlfriend, pop her beat up to a pulp, and turns on the gas, you know, carbon monoxide poisoning. She's inhaling this gas unconscious for hours, and you're thinking she's dead. She survives. At that point, I'm like, hold on. What is going on here? Like, what is the point of this story? You know, at that point, I start looking to see how much is left on the on the timer. Like, how much is left? Like, where's the story going? It turns out to be more about Marla and her confronting this Russian gangster, and it's just like, what have the writers done here? The writers had such a great idea. The writers had something that was very, very strong, and it was almost reminding me of Gone Girl. I was really hoping it was going to be like a cool little twist at the end, like, you know, maybe the Russian gangster ends up being the legal guardian of Marla and she gets a comeuppance that way, or all the victims, everything comes out to the law and she gets put in prison and all her money and everything gets taken away. But that doesn't happen, and it just left me so angry. It left me disappointed and angry. Like, the ending was dreadful. I really feel as though the person who wrote the first half of the film was not the same person that wrote the second half of the film, because it just did not match. It just ran off, and it was just like, okay, not only do her and the Russian gangster go into business, she kidnaps his mum, yeah, basically tortures his mum in this old person's home, and he goes into business with her. That makes no sense. Then she becomes a billionaire, like her business goes lucrative and like America-wide, so she has thousands of wards, thousands of people that she's milking money from. And how does it end? This guy that you see at the beginning who she's done this to shoots her. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not good enough, because during the course of the film, when she's being tortured by Peter Dinklage's, I can't even say his name, by Peter Dinklage's character, she already tells us she's not scared of death. So that's not a good enough torture. This woman, what she's done to these old people, these vulnerable people, is disgusting, and she deserves more. She deserves to be put in their position. Listen, writers, if you somehow manage to watch this review, please redo this film and make it so that she ends up feeling and going through what she's put these people through. Like, the film is, oh my days, it really, up until the point where she escapes being drugged in her car crash, that film was on target to be one of the best films of 2021. And don't get twisted, the acting in it was amazing, but the storyline just went off. It went off, and you expect me to believe that this legal counsel, who is not a gangster, she wasn't in the Marines, she's not even in a police force, but she somehow manages to take out a Russian gangster. Like, she literally takes Peter Dinklage out. Like, she tasers his driver, and I'm not really. So yeah, no. For me, that film gets literally a 4 out of 10. It could have been so good, but they really messed up with that second half. So yeah, I Care a Lot. If you want to watch it, go ahead and watch it, because the first half is really good, but just bear in mind, I've told you that by the second half you're going to be left annoyed by that film. Okay, this has been the Linda E review. As I say, anything I do, I will review, and I'll see you later. Ciao.